welcome to the Coach Bryan Moore Show. I'm your host, Margaret Ann Prater, alongside Coach Bryan Moore. This is a weekly show that's going to air on the NFHS Network, Facebook, and YouTube. I also want to remind you to please tune in every Friday night if you're not going to make it to the game, where our guys will broadcast on the NFHS Network. They should go on air around 6:45 if you'll give it a look. So before we begin, though, Coach, I got to thank our sponsors. That's why we're here. Eddie Pruitt Ford, Marmac Commercial Real Estate, Life Church, Quorum's Building and Farm Center, Agency on Main, and Peck Funeral Home. All right, let's get to this game last Friday. You go to Jemison last Thursday. You go to Jemison. You put up 41 before halftime. Game ended 41-0. Lots of guys got playing time. You got to get kind of empty that bench. Yeah. I'm not going to talk as much about specifics this time because I want to talk about Coleman in the end. But quickly, let's talk about our player of the game, JT Blackwood. He's been solid. I had a great performance against Austin as well. He's 25 for 36 currently with 488 yards and a 151 quarterback rating. What can you tell us about him?
Well, most of that's been done in one full game. He's played really two halves when you look at it that way. Obviously, just first half against Jemison, and also really shut it down after halftime, up 23-0 against Austin. So he's done all that, in 4 quarters of football. So he's had a great year. I mean, last year was just a preview of what JT had to offer for us, and playing basically half the time with Parker. But he's really done more than I even expected, just as far as knowing what everybody does, his toughness, the way that he puts people in good spots, and throwing away from pressures. And I don't think he's been sacked yet. And he has a lot to do with that, the offensive line too. And I want to brag on those receivers as well. The supporting cast has been really good. Our balance has been really good. We've been able to spread the ball in ways that maybe we hadn't in the past, because of the types of throws that he can make, and the kids that can go get it in those throws too. So you're seeing a lot of different ways to get the ball, push it down the field. He has time to sit back there and throw, and when he does, it can be dangerous.
That's awesome. Rushing game, solid with 6 guys combining for 190 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, I know we have our usual suspects, but I want to talk about the guys maybe that we don't usually see.
Yeah.
You got any input?
Well, obviously, Armadio's been really good. We've talked about him, and and Ryle will be back this week, so that's really exciting. He's had a great practice and been live contact and ready to go. But Donald Bishop, DJ Bishop, has come in and really moonlighted for us, at running back, and also playing safety, sort of a rover type position for us. But he's done a great job. He's taken care of the football. He's run really hard. He made some big first downs against Austin, and then did the same thing with Jemison and was dynamic. I think he's led us as far as amount of rushes, carries. And he's just really been a tremendous surprise for us. And somebody, 3 weeks ago, we never dreamed could play running back. And just to take that on has been really crucial. But again, our offensive line's played really well. We got our 2 young running backs in the game. Thursday, Jace Pruitt and Gage Roberts both played in the game. Our fullbacks have played a lot. Zeke McCann had a big catch too, which was a lot of fun with him, playing center last year and coming and doing some of that fullback role. But we've just been really pleased with our run game. Again, it starts up front. But we're not cutting people loose. We're not turning defensive linemen loose. We're not covering up linebackers. A lot of times we're getting to the safety, and that defensive back's having to make the tackle. So I've been really pleased with that.
We also threw for 210 yards. I want to talk about Eli Tidwell, 117 yards on 3 catches with a touchdown.
Yeah, his first touchdown of his career. So that was really exciting to get him in the end zone. And Eli had a great spring and summer. And just has had a big year. He does so much for us as far as returning punts, as far as being on the kickoff return team, punting, and then being a slot receiver, taking over that role that Trent Wright played, having to block a lot and do a lot of the dirty work. But he's being rewarded for that. And our balance, again, has been something. Last year, there were games where we would throw to Isaiah 10 times in the first quarter,
right?
Or first half at least. And now we're not having to do that. I mean, Isaiah had 16 yards, Thursday. And 2 catches. He had a touchdown, but we're not having – there's going to be times where he's going to have to make big plays. And he did against Austin. But if we can balance and keep spreading it out like that, it's really difficult game plan-wise for a defensive coordinator.
That's what I was thinking. Other guys are going to have to work harder.
Right.
I also want to mention, and I don't want to go over it again and again, but 400 yards of offense in 34 plays.
Right.
That's kind of an offensive coordinator's dream. I know you're an offensive guy.
Yeah, the yards per play were huge. That's something that we do look at, and we do chart yards per carry, yards per play. And so, because that's factored in even with the incompletions, right? So, how much are we getting per play is huge. We look at that every week. That's probably the biggest number I've ever had. To only run 34 plays. Now, the second half was shortened. Sure. And we're never going to embarrass people. We're going to take care of people. And so we agreed to shorten the second half. Jemison was a little outmanned as far as had some guys out. And, it was a non-region game. So we both wanted to try to get into the next week healthy.
Right.
And so we did that. We played everybody that we could. But I was really impressed by our yards per play.
All right, we'll be right back after a break. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
Hey, folks, my staff and I here at Eddie Pruitt Ford would like to thank you guys. We're in our 37th year in business, and we'd also like to thank the Hartselle Tiger football team that the preparation they put in for Coach Moore and his great staff, and especially our kids has worked so hard in the off-season to get ready for another great season. Go Tigers!
I'm Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, and I'm here to tell you about the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience. The versatility of the Big Green Egg is unmatched. It delivers big results as a grill, a smoker, and even an outdoor oven. Grill burgers, kebabs, steaks at 800 degrees, slow smoke a perfect slab of ribs, and even bake a crispy pizza. When the doctor cooks, I demand the best, and that's why I cook on the Big Green Egg, the ultimate cooking experience.
All right, and we're back with the Coach Bryan Moore Show. First off, Coach, we're going to talk about defense, but I want to thank my new best friend, Caleb Graham, for helping me out with defensive stats this week. The defense held Jemison to 90 total yards offense. Those are like, and I hate to reference the team you don't like, but that's like 2011 Alabama defense kind of numbers, right?
I'm good with that defense, though.
Okay. But, yeah, what can you say about our defense?
Well, it's been good. They've been locked in. Again, to be focused in that moment, I thought, with the game change and all that kind of stuff, was really good for us. We had give up one big play on the wheel route, and a big play was 14 yards. So it's good when you're starting to talk about not 40 but 14.
Exactly.
And so I've been really pleased with our defense, and the way I mentioned this in the first show, but the way that we cap stuff off, the way that we keep things in front of us, let's just make people drive it. Let's don't give them big plays, and our defense is sold out to that, and our DBs and linebackers are doing a really good job with it. So yeah, I was very pleased.
Well, and you said you're not bad with jinxes, so I'm going to have to say this: 8 scoreless quarters.
Yeah.
And now there was a team we played last year that when we went into game 3 had 8 scoreless quarters.
Yeah, and and it can change quickly if you're not right. That means absolutely nothing. What happened. I'm proud of it, but it means nothing in regards to how we're going to play against Coleman. Be present. I don't worry about that. I think a reporter had asked me that last year about, do you think Coleman hasn't been scored on, whatever, but they hadn't played us, and we hadn't played Coleman yet. So you just have to play the next week. But I have been really pleased with where we are right now.
All right, leading with tackles was Jay Canes, who had 8.
Yeah.
But don't forget Mookie and Porter Simmons. They had 7 each, and then Bull had his first interception. So he had a first pick.
Yeah, and
well, not a first pick. His first pick.
Well, and he made a good play. We were playing kind of a different coverage in the back, and we didn't do a lot. We didn't show a lot in that game. We played mostly base, and but we kind of changed coverage there, and then Bull got over the top of it with his length. He's going to get some of those. When he's on the back end and covering a third, he's so long and rangy that he can do that. Really pleased with Porter. And there, of course, Dom and all those guys are playing well too. But to be a freshman, he's having a really high tackle rate. So, like, if he plays 20 snaps, he's getting like 5 or 6, 7, 8 tackles in that 20 snaps. That's a lot of tackles for a D lineman. So, ding, 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 probably need to play him more. But he's really done a good job. His toughness shows up. How hard he plays, his motor's really high, and that's what you look for in a D lineman.
All right, now I'm going to turn the tables here. What did you see on film that we need to improve on defensively before we face Coleman?
Well, if you're ever out of position, you're going to pay, because you better squeeze stuff down. You better have your eyes in the right place. Because, watching them play Jasper Friday, there were times where Jasper ran and Jasper won and played really well, but they ran clean by the fullback. He had the ball the whole time. It's hard to figure out where the ball is. It's all happening so fast. And so if we don't match that level and play that fast, then they'll do the same thing and run right by us. So I think that's the biggest thing, because any mistake against them, any, eye placement issue, any squeeze issue, any fit issue, any responsibility issue, in regards to triple option, you're going to pay. They're going to score a touchdown. And so if our eyes aren't right, Coach Cole talks about it all the time, then we're going to play.
Great. Good advice. All right, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. You're watching the Coach Bryan Moore Show. We're here with our player of the week, our 80-foot forward player of the week, our quarterback, JT Blackwood. JT, seems like the game is going in slow motion for you out there. What types of preparation have you done to achieve such calm and command on the field?
Me and the quarterback group have done a lot of film preparation with Coach Lang. We watch our opponent every week, and we discuss formations, schemes, and blitzes. And
speaking of Coach Lang, what's the best thing about working with him? Because he was a pretty good quarterback back in his day.
He's a really good play caller. I feel like we have a really good relationship, and I think he's a really good coach.
All right, what differences can you tell between 2020's offensive line and now?
They've definitely matured in the weight room and mentally and preparation, and our chemistry has grown a lot since last year.
That's awesome. All right, I asked every player this. What's your favorite part of practice?
I'll probably go with 2-minute drill.
2-minute drills. All right. One more question. I know you've had the state circle because you transferred in from Coleman. I think everybody knows that. So you're going to play against former teammates. Have you guys talked about this? Have you had any communication with them? What's your feelings? Just let us in. Let us in.
Really, nothing's really been said so far between us. It's always been respectful. They weren't mean when I moved or nothing. So, but I'm looking forward to play them and see what they have.
Well, you know they're going to give you all they got, right?
Yes, ma'am,
I'm hoping we're going to do the same. All right, thanks, JT. Appreciate you taking time out of your AP field schedule to come talk to us for a few minutes during lunch. But we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
At Marmac Commercial Real Estate, our focus is providing service second to none. If you're looking to buy commercial property, development land, income-producing properties, or a farm, call the Marmac Commercial team. We provide service second to none. You can reach us at 256-214-2196 or 214-2227. Or you can find us on our website at www.marmaccommercial.com.
Hi, I'm Jenny Tankersley.
I'm Dwight Tankersley.
And I'm Rejane Hampton, and we're your agency on Main. Local realtors here to serve you. One of our team members will be more than happy to find you that perfect home. Go Tigers!
All right, we're back with Coach Bryan Moore. And Coach, let's look towards Friday. Coleman's coming into week 3 with a record of 1-1. I was expecting that 2-0, but 1-1. They shut out Grissom in week 1, 23-0. They lost to Jasper in a close one, 16-20. Like you and the seniors, I tried to watch the game, but it kept timing out on me.
Yeah.
But from the film I did see, they did not have that bruising running back that they've had.
Well, of course, 6 is gone, and he was a special player. There's no doubt about it. 2 years ago they had 6 and 23, the kid that's at Navy now, and they were 2 Division I backs, 2 Division I bodies, and still quality players there. Their backfield is still really good, and they had some huge plays against Jasper. Plays that, again, if you don't fit it right or your eyes aren't right, then they're going to run right by you, and that's what happened a couple of times. And Jasper just fought their guts out and played really well, and a lot of credit goes to those guys. They were down 2 scores in the fourth quarter and came back and won it. And so, again, Coleman is really good, and you got to go there, which will be a tough test.
That's exactly what my next question was I don't want to get in trouble because I have gotten in a little trouble before on the network, but the Hartselle fans will understand and be able to read between the lines when I'm saying we're traveling to Coleman to play this week. We're going to Coleman to play this week. The series, Hartselle leads 48-47 with 4 ties.
Yeah.
So what can you say? Coleman's won the last 2 meetings. What are we going to do to do to prepare to beat these guys?
Well, I told the kids this. They've been more disciplined than we've been. If you look at the last 2 games, from giving up a toss pass to big penalties and big moments. A personal foul in 19 that really cost them a lot. That can't happen. I mean, if they're more disciplined than us and they, get in there and run the ball for 4 or 5 yards of play and, we don't tackle or we don't wrap up, that's what happened last year. I mean, 6, we were there in position a lot of times. And he just made us play. It didn't matter who was there. And again, he's special. But we've got to tackle and we've got to be really physical and disciplined. And I think that could be the difference in the game. So whoever does that, at a higher rate, they're going to win. And, I don't really get into all the, being on the road stuff with them and all that stuff. That's a fan thing and that's fun. I'm sure they feel the same way about coming to Hartselle, And so I think that ultimately we just got to go play well and focus on us.
Okay, and I have a question. It's kind of a joke, but not really, because I was making these questions out last night. If we beat Coleman, because you said you're not superstitious, are you going to turn into LSU and we're just going to put the white ones on at home just to
we should, right?
That? Yeah,
Road
Warriors.
If it's working.
Right. If it's working,
well,
I don't know.
It's been tough now on the road for the first 3 weeks.
Right.
2 rivals on the road. It's been a weird start to the year, but again, I've been really pleased with how we've handled it. And I think we'll handle the moment in the same way we did against Austin.
Awesome. All right, one more question, and you're off the hook. The Eddie Pruitt Ford fan question of the week. Why do we schedule May Jemison?
Well, actually, I thought it was great scheduling. Coach Newton scheduled that game during his time as the interim coach, and the reason is their scheme is so related to Coleman in regards to double wing, triple type concepts. I thought it was fantastic scheduling. It gives us 2 weeks to be similar. It's not exactly the same,
right.
And they're going to hit things. It's going to go faster. All of it's going to speed up. But at least for 2 weeks, you can work on something that's different. When Paul Johnson was at Georgia Tech, it was really hard. If you looked at people week to week when they played them, they had a real hard time with Georgia Tech.
Right.
Because he did it so well and it's so different in what you're getting. And I thought Bert did a really good job of putting that in place to allow us to have 2 weeks to get ready. And, maybe we can keep that. I don't know. But, the region's going to change and after this year. And when you play people is going to change. I don't expect us not to be in the region with Coleman. But, again, I thought that was masterful scheduling as far as what they do. So I thought that gave us a head start.
Great. Well, thank you for your time. Good luck against Coleman. And we'll be back next week for the Coach Bryan Moore Show.
Peck Funeral Home is owned and operated by folks who live in the same communities they serve. Our employees are the heart of our business. The funeral home proudly employs over 30 local individuals. Currently, the funeral home is managed by Jeff Halbrooks, who has held that position for over 20 years. Our goal is simple and has remained the same now since 1929. Peck Funeral Home strives to provide genuine service from the heart.
This week in Hartselle High Athletics, let's start with Thursday, September the 2nd. HJHS Volleyball will host Danville and Decatur. JV and varsity volleyball will also host Muscle Shoals. We'll also have a 7th and 8th grade football game versus Austin here at home. Friday, September 3rd, that's the big game we've been talking about today as your Tigers travel to Coleman. Then we'll go Saturday, September 4th, volleyball in action as well as cross country. Varsity is going to go to Albertville. JV volleyball is going to Brewer. Cross country is going to Moulton to the Pepsi Challenge. Tuesday, September 7th, JV and varsity volleyball will host Brewer, and the 9th grade and JV football teams will face Coleman at J.P. Cain. We hope you have a great week. Please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube to try to get our viewership up a little bit and get this out to everybody. Thanks, and go Tigers.
Hey folks, my staff and I here at Eddie Pruitt Ford would like to thank you guys. We're in our 37th year in business, and we'd also like to thank the Hartselle Tiger football team that the preparation they put in for Coach Moore and his great staff, and especially our kids has worked so hard in the off season to get ready for another great season. Go Tigers!